Hello there, I'm Virtuoso, and welcome to our very first update breakdown for Eterspire. A brand new update just dropped this week, version 47.0, titled Into the Volcano. In this video, we'll be covering all the new content and changes that came with this update, so let's get to it. First up, a brand new zone called Arid Ridge has been added to the game. This new volcanic area is designed for players between levels 70 and 95, and can be reached through a gate in Frost Crevices, west of the Vestadian Bridge free teleport spot in Vestadian Range. These new maps will finally bring some much needed variety to the hunt quests around this level range, especially for those who are tired of those infamous marathon runs to the Cartesian dungeon. Speaking of hunt quests, the devs have also streamlined hunt quests for levels 40 to 95, making them generally smoother and more rewarding. This update also brought some nice quality of life improvements to side quests. Every single side quest should now come with waypoints to help guide you to where you need to be. This will be especially helpful for some of the side quests that previously were not marked on the maps, which made them easy to miss and tricky to complete. Overall, these additional content and quality of life improvements are some great changes that should help make the leveling experience between levels 40 to 95 much more enjoyable. With this update also came two more cosmetic loot boxes in the premium store, the Sun Warrior set and Wayfarer set, which included some brand new mounts. Now, mounts is a new gear that they have recently introduced in the previous update earlier this month. And now this is where I need to share some feedback on what I think about how mounts are currently implemented in the game. In my first and previous video on the channel, I briefly covered how the devs handled monetization. I want to reiterate that I get that the devs do need to make money, as at the end of the day, this is a business, and Eterspire is still miles above many other mobile games in terms of how friendly the free-to-play experience is. However, I don't think the current way mounts are implemented in the game is ideal. This is because mounts in this game do offer a distinct gameplay advantage in the form of increased movement speed when equipped. Here is a side-by-side comparison of how fast you move with and without a mount. And as you can see, it is a noticeable increase. This would not have been an issue if it weren't for the fact that mounts are currently only obtainable through the premium store. Now, it's possible to interpret mounts more as a convenience item, given that they don't straight up give you the ability to do more damage or tank more hits. But this is still technically an in-game advantage, given that movement speed does indirectly help you level up faster, since you'll have a much easier time moving from mob to mob. This can be concerning, given that one of the main selling points the devs have for Eterspire is how it is not designed to be pay to win, and instead relies on your skill and dedication. If there's one suggestion I would offer for this, it would be to add an alternative way for free-to-play players the ability to obtain mounts as well. This could come in the form of rare boss drops or life skills such as fishing. To tie all of this up, I get that the game needs to be profitable in order for it to be sustainable for the devs, but monetization should not come at the expense of the free-to-play experience. This is especially important considering that free-to-play players do make up the majority of the player base for most free-to-play games. Of course, at the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and I'm interested to hear more about what you all think about my feedback here in the comments. Okay, now that I'm done sharing my grievances for this game, here is the final and biggest news from the devs in this update. They have announced Trials. The long-awaited multiplayer combat feature is finally coming in the very next update towards the end of this month. That's right, the feature that the community has been waiting on for quite some time now is just around the corner. For your reference, everyone in this game has their own instances of mobs and bosses that are not shared between players. While this is nice from a leveling and bossing perspective, since you don't have to fight with other players over mobs or bosses, this does mean that outside of some very specific party-based ability interactions, Eterspire up until this point effectively played like a single-player game. The addition of multiplayer combat is exciting news that I'm sure would help make the game more fun for many people. Though I personally would recommend tempering your expectations a little bit, since new features in games usually start out with something smaller in scale to ensure a strong foundation for later additions to them. Well, that's everything you need to know for Eterspire version 47.0. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Eterspire content. Until next time, this is Virtuoso signing out. Happy hunting.